for that perspective. Appreciate it. Well, Congresswoman Omar is quick to describe all criticism of her as racism. She's done that quite a bit. But in fact, there are serious reasons to wonder about her judgment and her competence. The evidence suggests that she is an extremist on virtually every topic and has been for quite some time. For instance, there was the time that she was angry that people seem to treat Al-Qaeda with more hostility than they treat the United States. Watch.
When I was in college, I took a terrorism class. Every time the professor said Al-Qaeda, he sort of like his shoulders went up, and
yeah, he's in command here.
Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah. You don't say America with an intensity. You don't say England with an intensity. You don't say the army with an intensity.
Al-Qaeda, no big deal. Notice her nonchalance. It shouldn't be surprising, though. After all, her summary of 9/11 was, quote, some people did something.
CARE was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties.
Some people did something. So she was called out for that, as you remember. It happened not that long ago. And she said, well, that phrase was taken out of context, and anyone who criticizes her, of course, is a racist. But as it turns out, this is a pattern, this easygoing attitude toward terrorism against the United States. In 2016, for example, Omar begged a federal judge to be lenient toward 9 men accused of trying to join ISIS, the group that burns people to death. Omar said the real villain in the story is, you guessed it, America, because America caused what she called systemic alienation in the terrorists and drove them toward violence. It's our fault. Everything is. Omar has also called, of course, to abolish ICE and create de facto open borders in this country.
We need to abolish ICE and end all inhumane deportation and detention programs. We need to fight back against the criminalization of immigrants and those crossing the border.
Keep in mind, as you watch these clips, this is not just a member of Congress. This is a hero. This is a living folk hero on the left. This is someone lionized every day by, for example, CNN. Remarkable. In 2017, Omar attacked U.S. troops, accused them of, quote, murdering thousands of Somalis during the 1993 Battle of Mogadishu. In fact, they were attacked while trying to protect her homeland from warlords, you'll remember. And then there was the time Omar launched an attack on what she said was a hostile religious force, a force threatening to impose a theocracy on the American people. What religion would that be? Christianity, of course.
Religious fundamentalists are currently trying to manipulate state laws in order to impose their beliefs on an entire society, all with complete disregard for voices and the rights of American women.
So this is someone clearly with a long history of irresponsible and unsupportable statements, in some cases lunatic statements. But it's not just what she says, it's what she does. Omar's past is also full of legal and ethical lapses, real ones. Nobody knows that better than Steve Drazkowski. He's a Republican state representative from Minnesota who's been following her career since the very beginning, and he joins us tonight. Steve, thanks very much for coming on tonight. So how would you summarize Congresswoman Omar's ethical standards?
Well, Tucker, it's really no surprise for the people of Minnesota. It's really not a surprise. We have seen Representative Omar in action before. She is unapologetic. She is unethical. She is ungrateful. She's corrupt, and she is mean. And so we have seen that here. What she does each and every turn is simply call people racist. She calls Republicans racist. She calls Democrats racist. She even called the far left Minneapolis Star-Tribune editorial board racists. The editorial board of the Star-Tribune, where her huge fawning photo is adorned on their wall. She called them racist for asking her questions about these issues.
Well, of course she did, because it works. And as long as we keep rewarding that kind of behavior, she'll persist in doing it. She doesn't believe a word she says. But this country keeps rewarding people like her who bully their opponents into submission with false claims of racism. It's like it's a cottage industry. So she has often been criticized. Unpack this for us quickly if you can. I know it's complex, but accused of gaming the immigration system. What is the truth about what she did, do you think?
Well, she has been involved in a sham marriage, and she's working to cover that up. As a matter of fact, I noticed that she was violating laws, violating ethics, and cheating people here in Minnesota. I filed 2 complaints with the Minnesota Campaign Finance Board. She was able to cover it up long enough in order to skate into Congress. And had she not been able to cover it up, she wouldn't be in Congress today. As a matter of fact, if Congress does their job, she won't be in Congress much longer. But I filed that complaint, and as a result of that complaint, we learned that she has probable cause for 2 years of filing taxes with someone who is not her husband. She has probable cause for tax fraud and possibly tax evasion. We learned very true at that point that she was involved with 2 different men. One was her husband, which I believe is her brother, and the person who she filed the taxes with was the same gentleman who she's lived with since 2002 and is the father of her children.
So you are saying, and again, we're not confirming this, we can't confirm it, but you are saying that you believe that she married someone who was her biological brother as part of an immigration scam. That's what you're saying.
Yes, he moved here in 2009, was here for the 3 years when they were in college, lived with her and the father of her children and her children while they went to college. As soon as college was done, Tucker, he went back to Great Britain, and that was the scam right there. The question is, what was violated? What extra benefits did she get that she wasn't entitled to?
Right.
She should be asked. The media hasn't been asking the tough questions. Thank you for doing it, Tucker.
Yeah, maybe they could wake up and do their job. Representative, thank you very much for that. We just need to find out what the truth is.